Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. I want you to picture something we've all done at some point. Grab your coffee, you're wandering down the supplement aisle at your local grocery store or pharmacy, right? You look at the shelves, and there are just rows and rows of beautifully designed bottles of herbal remedies. They're promising you more energy, better sleep, faster weight loss, the whole shebang. And right there on the label, usually in big, bold letters, it says 100% natural. Instantly, our brains just kind of make this leap. We think, well, hey, it's from a plant, so it must be completely safe, right?
Okay, let's dive into this because that assumption, it is actually one of the most common and, honestly, most dangerous myths in health today. Now, don't get me wrong, many herbal medicines have fantastic benefits, absolutely, but they also have a hidden side. The reality is, just because something grows in the ground doesn't mean it automatically plays nicely with your body. So today we are going to expose the dangerous myth that natural always equals safe. To get you the facts, we're going to do a categorical deep dive through the 5 hidden side effects of herbal medicines that nobody really tells you about. We'll look at the regulation gap, secret spikes, toxic hitchhikers, herb-drug collisions, and silent kidney killers. Then we'll wrap it all up with a practical safety guide to empower you for your next shopping trip. Let's get right into it.
Number 1, the regulation gap.
So we need to talk about how these supplements actually make it to the shelves in the first place. In a lot of countries, including the United States, herbal supplements just aren't strictly regulated or tested by government agencies like the FDA before they're sold to the public. Unlike prescription meds, which take years of rigorous testing to prove they're safe and that they actually work, supplement makers can literally just put their products straight on the shelf. The government generally only steps in after people get sick or injured to pull a dangerous product off the market, and this brilliantly illustrates the real-world danger. Imagine you're buying a sealed bottle of energy boost herbs. You probably assume a team of scientists in white coats tested every single pill in that bottle, right? But in reality, the bottle might contain completely different ingredient levels than what's printed on the label, and no regulatory agency checked it before you bought it. It's exactly like letting a restaurant serve food without ever passing a health inspection. The health inspector only shows up after a customer gets food poisoning. Crazy, right? If you blindly trust that every herbal bottle is perfectly safe, you could be exposing your body to completely untested products with wild variations in potency. And the scale of this is just massive. Surveys show that over half the population, 50% of us, uses these supplements. We're spending billions of dollars, and it's primarily driven by this false assumption that natural means there are zero side effects.
Which brings us to our second danger, secret spikes or pharmaceutical adulteration.
Adulteration happens when companies secretly mix synthetic prescription drugs into their so-called all-natural herbal supplements, just to make them seem highly effective to the consumer. This matters tremendously because it means you could be consuming dangerous, unlisted prescription drugs without any doctor's supervision. Think about an everyday example here. Someone buys an all-natural herbal weight loss tea or a muscle-building powder. Suddenly they feel their heart racing or they get extreme mood swings. Well, it turns out that natural powder was secretly spiked with heavy doses of synthetic steroids or banned weight loss drugs. It's exactly like ordering a decaf coffee, but the barista secretly pours in 3 shots of espresso so you really feel the energy. I mean, sure, you get the result, but your heart pays a terrifying price for it. Now, what's really interesting and honestly terrifying is the sheer prevalence of this danger. In a massive review of tainted supplements, it was found that over 80% of spiked weight loss pills contained sibutramine. Now, sibutramine is a drug that was permanently banned globally because it caused severe medical emergencies like heart attacks and strokes. People were suffering these catastrophic events all because they thought they were taking a harmless natural supplement. Moving on to number 3, toxic hitchhikers, or heavy metals. Here we're talking about heavy metals like lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. Herbal plants grow out in the environment, right? And they can absorb these toxic heavy metals from polluted soil, water, and air. This is a huge deal because your body cannot easily get rid of heavy metals. Once they're inside you, they just build up over time. This buildup is called bioaccumulation, and it causes severe damage to your brain, nerves, liver, and kidneys. Just imagine someone taking a daily ashwagandha, ginkgo biloba, or schisandra supplement to maybe improve their memory or lower their stress. But because the plant was grown near a factory or processed poorly, they're unknowingly taking a daily microdose of lead. Over months or years, this leads to chronic poisoning, resulting in constant exhaustion, memory loss, and nerve damage. Let's move to the next point and see how this builds a really clear picture using a simple analogy. Think of plants exactly like kitchen sponges. If you leave a sponge in dirty, greasy water, what happens? It soaks up all the grime. Well, plants do the exact same thing with polluted soil, absorbing toxins straight into their roots and their leaves. Basically, you eat the plant, you eat the pollution. But it's not always an accident. In some traditional preparations, heavy metals are actually put there on purpose.
For example, there's a traditional Indian medical practice called Rasa Shastra, where heavy metals like lead and mercury are intentionally added to herbal pills because they are believed to have healing powers. Unfortunately, this practice has led to massive outbreaks of severe lead poisoning in consumers who just thought they were buying a harmless natural remedy.
Danger number 4, the herb-drug collision, also known as dangerous interactions. An interaction happens when an herbal supplement literally changes the way a prescription medication or anesthesia works in your body. It is absolutely vital to understand that harmless herbs can either completely block your life-saving medication from working, or they can multiply its effects to dangerous toxic levels. Let's look at how this plays out. Say you take a daily garlic or ginkgo supplement for heart health. A month later, you go in for a routine surgery or maybe a dental procedure. During the procedure, the doctor cannot get you to stop bleeding because those specific herbs act as powerful blood thinners. Herbs basically act like traffic cops in your bloodstream. They can either wave prescription drugs through way too fast, so your medicine leaves your body before it can even help you, or they put up a roadblock, causing a massive traffic jam where the drugs build up to toxic levels. If you don't tell your doctor about your herbs, the consequences can be incredibly dire. You might literally wake up during surgery because an herb like St. John's wort cleared the anesthesia out of your body way too quickly. Or you could suffer uncontrollable internal bleeding if an herb mixes with a blood-thinning medicine like warfarin. Because of this, doctors highly recommend stopping all herbal supplements at least 2 weeks before any surgery, just so your body's blood clotting and anesthesia responses can return to normal. All right, number 5, the silent kidney killers, aristolochic acid. We really need to talk about a chemical called aristolochic acid. This is a 100% natural chemical found in certain Chinese herbs, like aristolochia, and it is the ultimate proof that natural can be deadly. Consuming this acid literally causes your kidneys to scar over and shut down forever, and it causes cancer. To really understand the devastation it causes, think of this analogy. Aristolochic acid is exactly like pouring fast-drying concrete down your house's plumbing. It completely blocks and permanently destroys the pipes, which in this case are your kidneys, and there is absolutely no way to undo the damage once it's done. We actually know this because of a massive medical tragedy. Back in the 1990s, over 100 women in Belgium went to a clinic for a natural weight loss tea. Sadly, the tea accidentally contained the aristolochia herb. Because they drank this tea, over 100 of these young, otherwise completely healthy women suffered permanent kidney failure. So the crucial point here is understanding this condition, known as aristolochic acid nephropathy. Taking herbs containing this acid leads to kidney failure, where you're going to require a transplant or lifelong dialysis. And what makes this acid so incredibly toxic is that it literally attaches to your DNA and alters your genetic instruction manual. It creates mutations that act like a ticking time bomb, giving you a massive risk of developing urinary tract cancer down the road.
Section 6. The practical takeaway.
Okay, take a breath. We've covered some pretty heavy, intimidating stuff today. But look, the goal of this explainer isn't to scare you away from all herbs. It's to empower you. Herbs can be wonderful tools for your overall health. We just need to respect them and understand them. So, based on everything we've learned, here are your 3 practical steps to safety. Step 1, always tell your doctor and pharmacist about every herbal supplement you take. Treat them exactly like prescription drugs, so your healthcare team can check for those dangerous traffic jam collisions we talked about. Step 2, follow the 2-week surgery rule. If you're having any surgery or dental work, stop taking your herbal supplements at least 2 weeks beforehand to prevent bleeding or anesthesia issues. And step 3, be skeptical. Do your research and only buy from highly reputable manufacturers that perform strict third-party testing for contaminants like heavy metals and hidden drugs. Which brings us right back to where we started, standing in that grocery store aisle looking at those beautifully designed bottles. The evidence is clear. Untested bottles, secret pharmaceutical spikes, toxic heavy metal hitchhikers, dangerous drug collisions, and natural toxins like aristolochic acid are very real threats. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Next time you're in the supplement aisle looking for a quick health boost, will you remember that 100% natural does not mean 100% safe? Treat these products with the respect they absolutely deserve and stay safe out there.